Before we get any further into this video, I'd just like to say right now that there are going to be spoilers throughout this whole video. I mean, what did you expect? It's a movie review. Every single word I say about the movie is a spoiler of what happens in the story. But I just guess we'll continue. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire is the latest release in the MonsterVerse series. And if you're watching this afterwards and don't really know when it came out, the movie has come out in March 2024. And I'm going to say it right now, the movie was good. No, it wasn't good. It was great. Yes, like pretty much every single story, there are some flaws in it, but they're not too big and they don't exactly destroy the story. So, yeah. This is the second movie bringing the two big titans, Kong and Godzilla, together. And was it better than the last movie, Godzilla vs. Kong? Honestly, yeah, I think it beats it just by a little bit, because both movies were amazing. Alright, so let's, I guess we'll just start summarizing the plot. So, it starts with Kong, and he has a tooth infection after destroying, or killing some dogs, like they're called skull dogs, or I forgot the names of them, but they have like these, they're kind of like skull crawlers, but these weird, disgusting, hairy dog things, and then snacking on one of them in what is probably the most brutal moment in the MonsterVerse series. So yeah, Kong's tooth is infected, and so they call this guy to come and replace Kong's tooth, and yay, Kong now has a silver tooth. So this toy right here is inaccurate. He should have a silver tooth right there. But anyway, so basically the rule here is Godzilla is the ruler of the surface and Kong is the ruler of the Hollow Earth. Any monsters or titans that are coming to attack other cities, Kong defends the Hollow Earth from any of that, and Godzilla defends the surface for that. So yeah. But anyway, Kong starts venturing into the Hollow Earth and finds this one spot in there that he's never seen before. And when he goes in, he is shocked to find that there is another... No, not another. There's four. There's four Kong apes, like Kong-like apes down there that look just like Kong, with a little one named Suko. And I unfortunately do not have the Suko toy to show you. And also, yeah, Doug is in this movie too, Titanus Doug. He is also in this movie. I do not have a toy of him, unfortunately. But yeah, Titanus Doug is in this movie. Not as much as I hoped. He's only in one scene, which is pretty disappointing, but just one scene with Doug is better than no Doug at all. So, thank you, MonsterVerse. Anyway, Suko kind of disagrees with Kong. Oh yeah, in Japanese, Suko means essential child. So, yeah, that's pretty neat. So Suko starts being mean to Kong, and so Kong starts slamming the other apes with Suko. He just picks Suko up and starts abusing everyone around him. So one of the apes runs off to tell, I don't know, all the rest of the Kongs about Kong. I don't know if they're called Kongs or just apes or whatever. Another thing I want to mention is that there are basically two casts of the MonsterVerse. You have the Godzilla cast and the Kong cast. I don't remember anyone's names, even though I watch all the movies all the time. It's just hard to keep up with the names. But I do know that the Godzilla cast consists of Madison Russell. She is probably the most main character. Her father, Mr. Russell, can't remember his first name. Emma Russell, her mom, who is horrible, although she's dead, so she ain't going to be in any more movies, thankfully. And Bernie is a guy. He makes a lot of podcasts and stuff, and Josh is a kid in school with Madison. And Madison Russell, like I said, is probably like the main character of the MonsterVerse. She wasn't in Kong Skull Island, which makes a lot of sense. In fact, no one from Kong Skull Island, no one at all, is in Godzilla vs. Kong or Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. No one. Like, Packard isn't even mentioned in there. Not even, I can't remember his name, but Loki, the guy who plays Loki in the Avengers movies, he's not even mentioned anymore either. So if you're wanting more of those characters, I'm sorry. No, you don't get them. Now, a pretty neat thing about this movie is that Kong is the main character. No, seriously. Which means you more so get to focus on Kong's characters than Godzilla's characters. In fact, pretty much the only Godzilla character is Bernie, which is cool. I really like Bernie. He is probably one of the funniest parts of this whole movie. And a funny thing is, in the beginning of the movie, Bernie is sitting in his room making his podcast, and when you look around his room, he has some Playmates Godzilla and Kong figures. So that was just a neat little gag, and it's pretty funny. But like I said, Madison Russell is basically the main character of the MonsterVerse. She was a baby in Godzilla 2014. She was kind of a teenager in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Awful movie. And she was kind of I think she's kind of an adult. She was in college, I guess, or high school, I can't remember, in Godzilla vs. Kong. And thinking that this would be a Godzilla movie, you'd think she'd be in it. Well, no. Madison Russell is not even in this movie at all. She's not even mentioned. It's crazy. You'd think that since this is a Godzilla movie, you'd have probably the main character and one of the most important in here. But at least you get Bernie. So I guess a soul for a soul. And so Kong now comes into this big place with all these lava falls, and it's a very hot lava fire place here where all the rest of the apes live. Oops, Godzilla just fell. And Kong and literally everyone else never knew about this place. It was a hidden place. And then, I'm not exactly sure entirely which order, Godzilla or Kong first, but I'm just going to assume Kong. This is where we get introduced to the Scar King. So, the Scar King is a false king that seeks power among all the Kongs, and he is very manipulative, and basically, if you don't follow his rules, you die. And it is known at this point that the Kongs and Godzilla, Lizard, Titans have always been in this kind of war. And the reason all the Kongs are in this fiery big lava falls place is because the Godzillas imprisoned him in there, or imprisoned the Kongs. And because Scar King is their king, instead of trying to find a way to get out, he wants everyone to work for him. And actually, Scar King is actually a very weak villain. No, I'm not saying he doesn't work well. He works very good, he just doesn't have much strength. He is very slim and skinny, and he does not have much strength at all. So, how is he a threat in this movie? His big whip slash, made of the spine and mandible of a Godzilla. Wow. And Scar King is incredibly fast and very skilled with this whip slash. In fact, him and Kong have this whole duel thing, and Kong, in turn, gets hurt from the whip slash. But he almost defeats Scar King. I mean, look at this. Does this look like a fair fight to you? And so that introduces us to Shimo. Shimo is a brand new Titan in the MonsterVerse. In fact, Shimo actually means frost in Japanese, so that is also a really cool thing. We got Suko, meaning essential child, and Shimo, meaning frost in Japanese, so that is pretty cool. And let me tell you all right now, it is Shimo, not Shimo. It is a female, not a male. It is Ice Blast, not Fire Blast. Okay? Okay, you got it. Alright. So anyway, what was that? I'll just tell you right now, this scale is off. And am I really mad about that? No, because Shimo is ginormous. And honestly, this Kong right here is probably, not really. Maybe like this. Kong is like about that big compared to Shimo. Oh, so that was what hit Shimo earlier. And so Scar King, using what I assume is one of Shimo's spikes on her back, puts Shimo under mind control to where she breathes this, like, frostbite blast and gives Kong's hand a pretty nasty frostbite, forcing him to retreat. Anyway, let's take a quick break and talk about today's sponsor. Blue trash bags. These are amazing. Like, look at these. If you put these in a stop motion or something, these look exactly like waves for an ocean and are perfect for a Titanic plush stop motion. These are the GOAT. These are amazing. I highly recommend. Why is the Titanic all dirty? I highly recommend these if you're doing a stop motion with a Titanic plush and you need some good waves. These are absolutely great. Thank you to Blue Trash Bags for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Meanwhile, Godzilla, after defeating this one pink water-like titan, goes ahead to her cave and just randomly decides to sleep and evolve for no reason. I will say, though, the pink does look good on Godzilla. And he kind of changes his, I don't know if this is just a toy, but the scales look a little bit different. I definitely prefer the older Godzilla with the blue, but the pink Godzilla isn't okay. It's okay. It's an okay version. Oh no! Oh no! What are we going to do? King Kong got his hand frostbitten. What can we do? There's nothing we can do. Man, it would be so convenient if we just randomly had this glove just ready for any kind of occasion like this. Oh, hooray, hooray, oh joyous day. So yeah, conveniently, they're just like, oh yeah, we also got this glove, and it's frostbite protection. Well, but there you go. At least we get a new Marvel knockoff. We had Stormbreaker and Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong, and now we have the Infinity Gauntlet in Godzilla X Kong. Man, maybe in Kong Skull Island Return, we're going to get Captain America's shield. So anyway, Godzilla and Kong meet together again, and Kong doesn't want to fight, but Godzilla, for no reason, wants to. And because Godzilla beat Kong in the last movie, this goes pretty much how you'd expect. But anyway, after that whole fiasco, next comes the hands down best part of the movie. A joust between Kong, Scar King, Shimo, and Godzilla. Watching this in the theater was pure bliss, laughter, and amazement. Now, another thing I forgot to mention is there was also sorry, there was a little mess up there. There's another thing I forgot to mention is that there's a little girl named Gia. Very sorry, guys, my camera has not been working very good. There's a little girl named Gia on Kong's side, and the natives of the Hollow Earth, there are some humans down there actually, and they say that Mothra will be resurrected when a certain member of the Kong's Skull Island tribe will come and bring her back. And so, yay, Mothra is here. Unfortunately, Playmates did not make a Mothra toy because it was top secret. Hey, wait a second, why couldn't they just release it after the movie? But anyway, yeah. Sorry, just having a drink there. So yeah, Mothra's there. Did it feel kind of forced? Just a little bit. Not as much as Godzilla. Wait, what? Oh, I'll get to that later. You know what? No, let's get to it right now. Honestly, the movie felt like Godzilla was more so an afterthought, and it kind of felt like Godzilla was just added in there later on during production. I mean, it seriously felt like it was just supposed to be a Kong movie to start out with, but then the production crew were like, oh yeah, it's also Godzilla's 70th anniversary, and Japan isn't planning on doing anything, and plus people want more Godzilla, so let's just put a Godzilla in there. So they just redid the script a little bit and added Godzilla in there. It just kind of felt like that just a little bit, and just, you don't really get Godzilla much screen time, and you don't really get his story as put out there as Kong, which is alright. We did get, like, 3 Godzilla movies and only 2 Kong movies up until now. But still, it just kind of felt like Godzilla was just added in later on, and it just felt kind of empty to me. But at least he's in there. But other than that, the battles were honestly pretty epic. Anyway, Suko, we're just going to use this little Kong for Suko. Just for now. Anyway, Suko uses Kong's axe to destroy the little mind control thing over Shimo. Godzilla takes a big munch out of the whip slash that Scar King has. Nam. Shimo freezes Scar King entirely. And then Kong picks up Scar King and smashes him on the ground. Yay! and our heroes prevail! Woohoo! Man, I will say the fight was disappointing, though.
Ow!
The fight was honestly super disappointing, because Zuko did not ride Doug into battle. Other than that, it was a blast. Also, one of the funniest things is that Godzilla now lives in the Roman Colosseum. In the beginning of the movie and at the end, he just goes ahead and rests in the Roman Colosseum, which is hilarious. And then Kong, Shimo, and Zuko, I guess his adopted son, I don't know, head back to the Hollow Earth, and they roar, and the end. Really? That felt a little bit abrupt. I mean, you would think that it would end in Kong bringing all the Kongs out, like all the other apes out of the Hollow Earth, like the fiery place, and then into the nice, luscious green paradise, but no, I guess you just have to see it in another movie. There's no post-credit scene either. What's this Whipslash doing here? There's no post-credit scene either. Maybe they should have a post-credit scene where they showed, I don't know, Madison in there, and maybe they should have shown Kong and the other apes out in the, like, with freedom and stuff, and maybe something teased at a next movie. I don't know. I think that's how it should have ended. But still, that was Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I know I said a lot of bad stuff about this movie, but other than that, it's really funny. It's very great. It is a wonderful movie. And do I recommend it? Yes, even if you're not so much a Godzilla and Kong fan. It's still a pretty nice movie. And there are some emotions throughout it. So yeah, it's not just big monster fighting. It's also just a great story too. And it had some good monsters in it, some good kaiju, and they had some awesome toys released of them. So yeah, do I recommend Godzilla Kong: The New Empire? Yes, I know a lot of people pronounce it Godzilla X Kong. In fact, I pronounce it that too a lot. But I think the proper version is Godzilla Kong. And I highly recommend it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Scar King, like I said, is a pretty weak villain. Not as in story weak. He was just not very strong at all. He doesn't have much brute strength. And a lot of people complained about that. But I found that honestly pretty good. You know, a good villain should probably have a good weakness. And how Scar King was manipulative, he neglected the fact to build up his own strength. Sure, he was fast, but he was nothing compared to Kong. And could he really compete against Kong? No, because Kong grew up on Skull Island. And he grew up on Skull Island eating nutritious foods like other skull crawlers and squid. Scar King had very little food at all, probably just rocks and dirt and lava for drinks. Yum. And so, pretty much all the Kongs, especially Zuko, were very skinny. In fact, fun fact, Zuko is the same age as Kong was in Kong Skull Island. Pretty crazy. That really goes to show you how strong and skilled Kong is. But anyway, do I recommend the movie? Oh yeah, I already said that. So yes, I recommend the movie. Do I recommend the toys? Yes, these are all great. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. That is probably, honestly, it's my favorite movie in the MonsterVerse series, probably. It was just great. And of course, you probably should watch the 4 other movies before this one, before you just go into theaters and watch it. Actually, probably the time I upload this video, it's probably not even in theaters anymore. Never know, though. And it blew out the box office, which is great. It got a whole lot of money, which I'm very glad it did. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Godzilla X Kong. Thank you so much for watching this movie review. Do you like the Godzilla X Kong movie? I certainly do. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.